The second thing he told them was to prepare your victuals. Now, victuals is a word that means food. Understand, they had been fed by God for 40 years. They had been in the wilderness for 40 years. They received manna from heaven. Every afternoon they received quail would come in, and all they would have to do is break their neck, pluck them, put them in the oven, put them over a barbecue, whatever. They didn't have to know how to hunt. They did not even know how to bake bread. He said, prepare your victuals. Understand this, folks, as you pass through life, you are there to prepare for the next stage of your life. That's why you are in school, to help you prepare. Yes, you are just passing through, but you don't want to waste your time. You need to prepare to learn how to cook for yourself. They had to learn to cook for themselves. You need to prepare yourself for being an adult. That is what childhood is all about. It is a time that you are passing through so that you can prepare yourself. Prepare yourself to feed yourself. But it's not just talking about physical. Are you preparing yourself emotionally? Are you growing emotionally? Are you preparing yourself psychologically? Are you preparing yourself from an educational point of view? Prepare. As you pass through, you prepare, because one day your parents are going to quit feeding you. One day you're going to be expected to prepare your own victuals, to prepare your own life, to provide for yourself. Are you preparing yourself physically, emotionally, psychologically, to be able to prepare your own food? That's one of the most horrendous things about this society that we live in. We try to increase the time of adolescence. And it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. We live in the time where a government wants you dependent on them. All of the time. They don't want you to grow up. They don't want you to think for yourself. But instead of God feeding you manna from heaven, it's government feeding you welfare, Social Security, Obamacare, EBT, whatever we can do to keep you from having to grow up. And that is a horrible thing, because you need to understand this also. It is to your benefit that the manna stops. It is to your benefit that your parents are looking forward to the day. I can guarantee you they're looking forward to the day where they don't have to provide for you anymore. They don't have to feed you anymore. They want the day to come when you are grown up enough to prepare your own victuals. And if the manna had never stopped, they would never learn how to fend for themselves. They would never learn how to cook for themselves. But I want to ask you, are you preparing yourself? Are you learning how to cook for yourself? And I mean in all facets of life. And those of you that are working, good for you, because you are out in the world, you are understanding, you are trying to help prepare for the victuals, to prepare your own food, to prepare yourself for the time. Even though you know that you're just passing through right here, you prepare yourself for the time when you will have to take care of yourself. And the Israelites at this time were at a point in their life where they were about to have to start taking care of themselves. Those of you that are seniors are at a point in your life to where it's not going to be too much longer, where people will expect you more and more and more to prepare your own victuals. But whether it's physical, whether it's mental, whether it's financial, whether it's psychological, whether it's emotional, Are you preparing yourself for the stage when you get out and are expected to live and produce your own stuff?